So I recently got into an argument with some people in the comments section about Prime Garp versus Prime Whitebeard, and it's inspired me to make this video. So here we go. Prime Garp versus Prime Whitebeard. For this whole video, assume I'm referring to the primes for both of them. Right off the bat, we have never seen Prime Garp do anything, so all we can go on is statements. Him and Roger fought nearly to the death multiple times. That to me says that they are equal, right? You shouldn't be able to nearly kill Roger unless you're equal to him. Now, since Garp was never actually able to capture Roger, I'm going to give the edge to Roger. That seems obvious. But an important thing to note is that this is prime God Valley era Roger, nearly 20 years before he became the king of the pirates. Now in terms of Whitebeard, he is also a rival to Roger. During Odin's flashback, we get to see him clash with Roger, showing blatant relativity. He is also considered the strongest man, but that doesn't really mean much, because he earned the title before Roger died, and I don't think that many people would argue that Whitebeard is actually stronger than Roger, at least not significantly. I think the title has to do with his devil fruit. His official title is the strongest man in the world, and during Marineford, Sengoku says that Whitebeard's devil fruit has the power to end the world. See where I'm going with this? It makes sense that you would give the guy who has the power to destroy the world the title of the strongest man in that world. But at the same time, he was stalemating against Roger. All this to say that while Whitebeard is undoubtedly strong, he isn't the number one in the verse. Now when it comes to comparing Whitebeard and Garp, there is one very obvious person we need to consider. Roger. The Roger that Whitebeard fought is not the same Roger that Garp fought. The Roger Whitebeard fought was 52 years old and was so sick he was only expected to live for another year. No matter how you look at it, that's a weaker version of Roger than the one Garp was stated equal to. Now you may be saying that Whitebeard has fought Roger many times before this, probably when he was closer to his prime. Why would a Whitebeard who fought equally to a stronger version of Roger years earlier fight equally to a weaker version of Roger years later? There's no evidence that Whitebeard got any weaker, aside from maybe his age, but Roger also got older, and has the sickness on top of that. Again, no matter how you look at it, he was unable to defeat this weakened form of Roger. Meanwhile, Garp was able to nearly kill a stronger Roger on multiple occasions. Now, it's fair to point out that we don't see Whitebeard use his devil fruit against Roger, but the reason he didn't is most likely because Roger's haki would negate its effect, something that Garp should also be able to do. That's because Garp should just be equal in haki to Roger, since they both only use haki to fight. If I really wanted to be an asshole, I could point out that Roger uses a sword and Garp only uses his fist, which should actually probably make Garp's haki stronger, but I won't make that argument because it's kind of flimsy. Now that considers using the tremor fruit to amp his attacks, but what about the large-scale world-ending attacks we've seen even an old Whitebeard do? Has anyone aside from like fodder taken damage from those attacks? Law was able to shrug off Blackbeard's attack, and he was much weaker than Blackbeard. So you have someone who's in the same ballpark like Garp, and those attacks aren't going to do any damage. Another point I want to make is just the betrayal of God Valley and how it puts Roger and Garp in another league. From what we know of it, it looks like Roger and Garp won a 2v5 against the strongest pirate crew of all time, and that crew included Whitebeard. And they did that without any devil fruits. People like to say Garp not having a devil fruit makes him weaker, but no, the fact that he has all these top tier feats without a devil fruit makes him even stronger, because he's going against people who do have devil fruits. This whole argument doesn't really matter, so don't get bogged down into it, because it's completely possible that Whitebeard never fought on God Valley, and that Garp and Roger only ever fought rocks. We just don't know. But I think the narrative argument is that Roger and Garp are in a different league compared to the other top tiers. If you disagree with this point, fine, but I think I laid out a very strong argument before. This is just the cherry on top. Based on all this, I think I laid out a very good reason why Garp has a better portrayal than Whitebeard is. But that is just based on the limited information we have about both of them in their primes. When more information comes out, this conversation is bound to change. But until then, the only conclusion that I can make is that Prime Garp is stronger than Prime Whitebeard. Now, I'm not saying that Garp stops Whitebeard or anything. All I'm saying is that in a high diff fight, Garp has the edge stats-wise and has ways around Whitebeard's devil fruit powers, leading him to winning more times than not. Please let me know in the comments what you think. If you agree with me, let me know if there's anything I missed. And if you don't, I love to discuss it, argue, and debate it with you all in good fun. And let me know if you like the video. Peace.